Hey guys, this is Accounting Nightmare, and this is our challenge mode run for Temple of the Jade Serpent. This is the second challenge mode that we did, and of the 3 that we've done so far, this was the easiest for me by far. The DPS requirements seemed a bit rough, but for me this was quite easy. This instance is it's very simple. There's not any mechanics that sort of bug out or freak out on you, so it's a very straightforward place. So at the start here you can go either left or right. You want to go left first for challenge mode. And we pull everything from this corridor. This pull is the worst in the instance. Be ready to pop cooldowns if you need. So we tank him in this corner here, and once they start to die, he starts to kite them down the corridor. Yeah, these ads are very scary. When they die, they leave behind these big deadly puddles. Don't stand in them. And they also spawn a load of ads, which hurt. And they come straight for the healer, of course. That was my fault for standing too close there. But we kite them back and forth along this corridor. And once they're pretty much about to die, we run in to fight the first boss. Yes, the first boss already. It's pretty fast paced. So this guy in phase 1, you can't hurt him. He just spawns ads and you have to kill them one by one. He does this move where he picks a quadrant of water and he sort of blows it up. Just don't stand anywhere near any of that water. I assume it hurts you if you're too close, but it pretty much one-shots. But just be wary of where you're standing. We try to all stand in the same spot here except for the tank, who drags the ads away from us. Because they're just like the ads in the corridor. They live behind these puddles when they die and they spawn ads, so it's just a good idea to keep them separate from us. Also, the actual water here hurts, so you don't want to stand in it. Doesn't hurt a lot, but it does hurt it a little bit. And if you're standing outside of the sort of the water rings, then the boss will hit you with a spell of some kind. It's just to make sure you don't do the heroic strategy and just tank everything in the corner, which certainly makes things a lot easier. But no, you have to actually deal with the mechanics this time around. So you're going to get 4 big ads in total. This part's just really slow, honestly. And if you need to be careful with your mana here because you can't use a potion. And you make sure no one uses potions here, no DPS potions at all, because right after you kill this guy, you're going to want to use your invisibility potions. You're going to want to use that to skip a bunch of trash heading up to the second boss. Yes, make sure your melee's looking out for those puddles, so you have to run out right as the guy's dying, or they'll take some ticking damage. It's not too bad, but well, actually that did hurt quite a bit. Yeah, any damage you can avoid is obviously very good. And here's our final one right now. Yeah, we've got a DK melee DPS today. It's funny, this was his first run with us. We practiced this for quite a bit with a stand-in guildie, and he had to go to run with his own challenge mode, so we brought in this guy and we got gold right away. So this was his first time here, I guess, and quite a good use of his time. Once this final guy dies, the boss will go into phase 2. He'll start doing his water spray. Look out for where he's facing, because he can start it in any direction. He warns you, sort of. He points in a direction and then he doesn't start the spray for a few seconds, so you've got time to run away. Yeah, now it's just phase 2, where you just run around him and kill him. Don't get hit by the water spray, obviously. It won't one-shot, but it will send you flying across the room, and that's just where it hurts and it wastes time. Yeah, so we're just running around the inner ring here, and you have to jump over the little gaps, or you'll take damage from the water. Again, it's not a lot of damage, but you don't want to take too many ticks of that. And you just got to be careful not to let the spray catch you, or to run too far ahead and run into the spray. Alright, so now that he's dead, we can head back. We can head back to the other boss. And once he's dead, you get a big speed boost. So you want to make use of that. I always stop to drink right before we use the pots because I'm so low on mana. And we're going to pull something right as we come out of invisibility. And you want to use Restorative Amber as a healer if you're doing challenge modes. It's something you can buy from the Klaxxi. I think you can buy it friendly. It's pretty easy to get hold of, and it's really good for challenge modes. You should be doing that as a healer. So the invisibility pots, we just use the 15-second ones. You don't need the 18 seconds. Then we pull all this crap. And you want to focus damage on, I think it's called a songbird, sorry. They do a silence. Obviously very bad for your healer. It's a very short silence, but it's just enough to cancel out that heal that might save your tank. So kill him first, and that'll help a hell of a lot. Once the trash is dying, then you want to jump over this balcony to go down to the boss. And I try and jump over the wrong spot here. You have to go down this ramp. And we nearly lose our tank to stagger. So that was very close. That could have been a disaster right there. So the second boss, on normal and heroic, it's random which one you get. You can get this strife and peril one, or you can get one with 5 suns. You pretty much just kill these suns, and then this panda gets possessed, and you have to beat him up. But on challenge modes, Blizzard tries to remove as much randomness as they can. So you'll always get this boss. The gimmick with this boss is that the more you attack one of them, the more damage it does. It gains a stacking buff. So we always start with the right one. And once it hits about 6 stacks, we switch to the left one. And once he hits 6 stacks, we switch back. And by the time we switch back, the buff has disappeared off the first one. If you keep attacking one for too long, it'll go immune and it'll do loads of damage. So this is just a pretty good way of keeping the group damage down, while constantly doing damage. It's a pretty simple boss, really. It doesn't do a lot of damage to the tank if you do it right. There's a fair bit of group damage going on, so AoE heals are obviously good here. This is one of the few cases I've found so far for Divine Him in challenge modes. Usually I just don't have time to channel it. Divine Him is my big group cooldown. Does loads of AoE healing. But normally, I mean, if the whole group's hurting, usually I can't stop to channel that because it doesn't do enough healing to keep the tank up. So you know I'll be healing everyone, but the tank will still drop. But these guys do such little single target damage that you can easily channel or Divine Him. And it's pretty much just going back and forth. I try to send my Mindbender at the one we're currently attacking. I don't know if he affects anything, but you know, it's good to be safe rather than sorry. And hopefully your DPS was kind of well spread. Otherwise you might end up with one with high health at the end here. Alright, once they're dead, we get another speed boost. And on one of our first attempts I stopped right there to drink. But you don't want to do that. You want to use this speed boost, otherwise it'll run out while you're drinking. Yeah, so I just let our tank know that I'm going to be drinking as soon as we stop running. Because I'm going to need lots of mana for this next group. There's just loads of trash in this room, leading up to the third boss. You don't want to pull too much of this trash at once. They've got a really nasty debuff they put on people. I forget what it's called, but it reduces their damage and healing done by 75%. So that's quite significant. And because you have a dispel cooldown, you can't just dispel it all the time. So when I see it on someone, I just dispel it as soon as possible. It doesn't actually do damage. It does initial damage when it hits you, but apart from that, it doesn't do anything. It just reduces your damage and healing. Yeah, so I try and dispel it as soon as it appears so that my cooldown will be up quicker. If it's on several people, including me, I dispel me first because otherwise my tank heals are going to be absolutely pathetic. As a priest also I have the option to mass dispel, so I can use that in an emergency, but the sheer mana cost is really painful. I think I'll run out of mana at the end of this trash anyway without even using mass dispel, so be really wary if you do that. Yeah, sometimes the dispel cooldowns work out that I end up with dispel on cooldown and I get the debuff. But if that happens, I'm ready to pop a cooldown on the tank. But the tank damage isn't too high here, so usually I can just leave him be. The debuff is actually a 1.5 second cast, so I guess you could interrupt it, but I don't think we're really bothered. And they also put these little purple puddles on the ground you want to avoid. Do a fair bit of damage. Now for the third boss, I make sure to drink up to full here. There's a few things you want to look out for here as a healer. In phase 1, she puts a dispellable debuff on the tank. I think it's a dot, I've never really looked it up, but it does quite a bit of damage, so just dispel that immediately. And at the same time, look out for those waves, those sort of orange waves. They seem to appear in the same spot every time, so once you know where they're going to appear, they're pretty easy to avoid. Then once she hits phase 2, instead of doing the dot, she does a different debuff called Jade Serpent Strike. Make sure this is on your healing frames. She does it on the tank, and you can't dispel it. Instead, it absorbs healing. So you have to bomb him with heals to get that debuff off, otherwise you won't be able to heal him, obviously. So make sure you're looking out for that. And she starts shooting the green waves instead that leave behind puddles, avoid those. And now it's up to phase 3. This is a very fast fight. 3 phases that you go through really quickly. And he just puts puddles under you, get out of them because they hurt quite a bit. I think we lost our mage to a puddle. That's how quickly you can drop. Yeah, they do hurt quite a bit. Apart from that, that's all that there is to this boss. And just avoiding stuff and making sure your healer knows what to do with the debuffs. And now we're moving on to the final boss, and there's a quick trash pull before him. We don't pull the trash and the boss at the same time though because of their debuffs. It's the same trash as before. They put annoying debuffs on people to cripple them, to cripple their damage and healing. So we try and get through that as quick as possible. I guess you could pull them and the boss at the same time, but the problem is the boss also puts debuffs on people, so your healer's going to be really strained to try and dispel all that with spell cooldowns. Instead I try and just, yeah, to debuff on 2 people there, I'll dispel me instead. And I'll dispel our mage as soon as I can. Yeah, I'll try and keep as much mana here as I can because when we pull the boss, I'm not going to stop to drink, I'm just going to run in with what I got. Because we were really tight on time here, we only just got this gold. So this is the final boss. For this guy we all stack together on the tank. It's for the add phase. And as I said, he puts debuffs on people. And you want to dispel that as soon as possible because it does damage to everyone near that person. It's called Touch of Nothingness. Just dispel that as it pops up. On our first kill of this boss, when we got silver, I was able to dispel it every time before it did damage, but this time around I didn't. There is a timer for it though, so you can watch for that and do that and be really awesome. Yeah, so there's tons of dispelling to do in this instance. If you never use your dispel button, you should probably start. Yeah, that would be like being someone who never uses their interrupt. Don't be that guy. For the add phase, that's why we're all stacked up. That way all the adds come together and we can just AoE him down. And for the first add phase, I pop Divine him. And for the second, hopefully it's not too bad, because I don't have another group cooldown, but we use, if anyone's got any survivability things, they can pop that. Like I can use Desperate Prayer if things get too bad. People should have some kind of cooldown they can pop. Yeah, I am really thirsty for mana here. I wasn't sure we were actually going to kill the boss, but we did, so that's good. Yes, there's a second group. Power Word Barrier would be good here as well, if you're a Disc Priest instead of Holy. This would be a good instance overall for Powered Barrier. And that's the boss, pretty much. As you can see, we're really close on time. We got it by, I think, 4 seconds? Yeah. Oh well. So thanks for watching, and next time I'll do Scarlet Halls. See ya!